setup, sorry, and how to choose the furniture that supports your health. So, as an executive mom, you're familiar with the challenges of balancing your professional responsibilities and family life, and often all from the same space. So, you might have an arrangement where you're working from home, or you may be doing work. Office work when you come back from your office, or so it's important to create an environment where you have an ergonomic setup or a comfortable setup for you to do your work while you are at home. It is not just to boost your productivity at work, it is also to make sure that you don't suffer from any neck, back, nerve pain or joint pains while you are at work, or you don't aggravate any of your existing spinal or nerve pains while you are working from home. Now, this, of course, I have said that the topic is ergonomic home set office setup. However, this is also applicable to when you go back to your work. So, in today's video, we are going to see how ergonomic furniture can play a role in avoiding spinal and nerve pain. And of course, there is a lot of ergonomic furniture out there. There's a lot of information out there on Google. When you go on there, it's a plethora of information. It can be quite confusing. So let's break down the main. The main and the pricier furniture, ergonomic furniture that's out there. Now, if you missed it, that's all right. But my last video was on ergonomic chairs. I got a few comments on that video saying ergonomic chairs can be quite expensive, which I understand. They're worth the investments. Like I have this one here, which is one of it's been a good investment, I would say. But it's not for everybody, and I understand that. So I'm also going to address how you can get around this little speed bump if you come across it. All right. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Swati. I'm an executive mom power coach. I help moms of younger kids who work in high stress executive jobs to manage their spinal, that is back and neck and nerve pain. And I do this by giving you simple exercises, some easy lifestyle modifications, and I also talk about some tips and tricks that have helped me in my own pain journey. And I do all of this without taking away a big chunk of your time because, hey, we're moms, we're busy people, right? Okay, so let's get back into the topic without taking more of your time, which is ergonomic home office setup, how to choose the furniture that supports your health. So you might wonder, what is this term ergonomic? So I'm just going to read this off to you and then I'll explain it by simple words. Ergonomic is the science of designing the workplace, keeping in mind the capabilities and limitations of the worker. Now, basically, what that means is when you are sitting, say you're sitting on a little stool, and I know not many people do that, but say you're sitting on a stool without a backrest for a certain number of minutes or hours. After a while, you find yourself slouching or slumping down like this. At the end of the day, you have a back pain. Now, when you have a chair which has a backrest, maybe that's better than the stool. But then what if you had a chair that actually had a uh, a provision where it actually supports the curve of your spine, starting from probably your mid back, upper back or your cervical area, like this one here. It supports my head as well, and all the way down to your lumbar or sacral, that lower back and your bottom as well. So that is a more ergonomically viable furniture, basically a furniture, or a piece of furniture, in this case the chair, that fits to your body type, and you can adjust it according to your body shape, because we all come in different shapes and sizes, right? All right, so what happens if you don't have an ergonomically designed office, or you're not using furniture that is in accordance to your body shape? Is it poorly designed? Environments like this can lead to a lot of repetitive strain injuries. What that means is you are repeatedly doing the same activity. For example, if I use a regular mouse as compared to, okay, my mouse has gone missing from here. I was going to show it to you, but okay, let's just assume you're holding the mouse here. Okay, this is a remote, but if you're holding the mouse, what happens is, do you see how my this is my wrist? It is not in neutral. Neutral would be if it is in a straight line here, and The middle of my forearm here is somewhat in line with the middle of my hand. So if I'm using a mouse with my hand tilted like this, or for that matter, well, the tilt depends, but if you use a normal regular mouse, what happens is when you're holding it, usually our wrist is facing upwards. If you're one of those who uses a mouse for a long period of time, uh, and of course, most of us do that because most of us work on computers. If you're holding the mouse like that and clicking away multiple times, this constant clicking and the fact that you're holding your wrist in extension instead of neutral for whatever number of hours will tend to do a repetitive strain on your wrist, ligaments, muscles, etc. And that would be a repetitive strain injury. So that is just one example. Well, you might wonder what the solution is. So I'm just going to go off on a tangent for a minute. The solution is an ergonomic mouse. So, or if you don't want that, you can roll up a towel. You can put it under your wrist here so that when you're holding the mouse, your wrist is actually supported and it will fall into neutral. Try it out. If you are in an office setup, and of course sometimes it's not feasible to roll up that towel, the face towel, and pop it under your wrist every time, you can get a mouse pad or a wrist pad as it is called, and you can use that. It's basically like a rolled up like a little speed bumper on top of your mouse pad here, so it supports your wrist into neutral. So you can go for the ergonomic mouse or you can go for the wrist pad. So that's totally optional. It's your choice. If you're not sure which ones to buy, because again, there's so many of them out there, I have certain ones that I like and I recommend. I have used them myself. I will leave a link to that in a blog that I've written on this topic, and I'll leave a link to the blog in the video, in the description of this video. If you can't find it, just message me and I'll send it across to you. All right, so moving on, that was the very first thing in your ergonomic office setup was that mouse. But going back to the repetitive strain injuries, if you're sitting for long hours, you can also have back pain, neck pain, nerve pain, so basically spinal and nerve pain, along with joint pains. So you want to have a chair that supports you well. Now, some of the points that I talk about might be similar to my previous video, but just bear with me here because we're going to cover this briefly and move on to the next one. So there are going to be three of them that I'm going to talk about in the video. So just looking at my notes here. Yeah. So get a chair that supports the natural curve of your spine. Our spine is not absolutely straight. So if you look at yourself from the side, you will see that you have a curve in your neck, which is basically, if this is the front of your body and this is the back of your body, so your face is this side, you have a curve like this. So basically your curve is sitting like this. So you have a curve in your cervical spine and you have the similar curve in your lower back as well. So this is the back of your body and this is the front of your body. And in your thoracic spine or your torso, you have the reverse curve. So basically, this is the cavity where you have your lungs and your heart and all your organs sitting. And then there is a little bit of a very slight curvature on the thoracic spine or your mid back area. Now, if you have a chair that supports your spinal curvatures, that is recommended. Why? Let's take the example of your lower back. If you are sitting on a chair, so let's say you are, okay, let's just take this paper. So, sorry, just one sec. So, if you are sitting on a chair, this is your lower back curve. This is the front of your body, this is the back of your body. If this is the back of the chair and it's absolutely straight, okay? Do you see how the top of the lumbar spine and the bottom of the lumbar spine is completely supported? However, the muscles that are sitting in the curve of the lumbar spine are not getting any support from that chair here, right? Especially the ones in the deepest part of the curve. Now, if you have a pre-existing back pain or you're prone to back pains, this can be a bit of a problem. And well, if you're sitting for long hours and this is something you're going to do for hours or weeks or months or years, it can predispose you to lower back pain. So the best thing to do is get an ergonomic chair that supports these muscles as well. So the chair is not absolutely straight. It actually has like a lumbar support or a cushion that can sit into the curve of your back. Some of the chairs have an adjustable lumbar cushion, like the one I have, and I'm sharing the chair with, say, somebody else. I can adjust because if somebody's taller or shorter than me, their lumbar curve will sit in a different area of the chair. So I can actually adjust where that lumbar support sits in my chair. All right, so that was one example. And then, of course, you want a chair that has the proper armrests. And some of the chairs, they come with these footrests, right? So they have these four or five, well, things, legs, legs in the chair. There's this single bit, and then there are these, I'm forgetting the word for it, but basically, there are legs of the chair. You can rest your feet on those, or else you should be able to rest your feet on the floor. Now, that is why it is important that you get an adjustable chair where you're able to take your chair up or down to adjust to your height, especially if you have other people in the house using the chair. Like my preteen, he uses my chair once he's back from school. So he loves this chair, and he just takes it with him. But of course, he's shorter than me, so he needs to adjust the height of the chair. Also, there are many other features that you would find in the chair. So that was it. I'm going to move on to the next, which is a major big piece of furniture, ergonomic furniture, which is a standing desk. It's quite a fad nowadays. You can get a regular desk, no problem at all, as long as you have the chair and you can adjust it according to the height of your desk. However, when you have a job where you're sitting for very long hours, it is recommended to get a standing desk, because then you can stand for a while, adjust it down, and then use it for sitting. So, again, it'll help you to prevent the prolonged sitting and the repercussions of that, which is back, neck, and nerve pain. Alrighty. So, there are quite a few other points that I wanted to talk about, but I think I'm going over time now because this video has gotten longer than I needed it to be. So, I will leave the rest of the points with the ergonomic furniture in a blog that I have written. And as I said, I will leave a link to that blog in the description of this video. I will also leave two more things in the blog that will be helpful for you. One is, if you do not have an ergonomic chair, how do you make your regular office chair or your regular chair at home more ergonomically viable? So, what are the tips and tricks and hacks you can do? So, this would be an interesting one for you. And I have also left a free guide for you in that blog. Just looking at my notes here, yeah, it is how can you maintain a good posture while working from home. So it again has a lot of hacks and tips and simple tips that you can manifest into your everyday routine and your office, well, in your office setup. Alrighty, if you have any questions, any comments for me, do let me know. And I hope this was useful. Please do comment and tell me what are your thoughts about this, because then that gives me an idea of what I can do for my next video. And hopefully that'll be helpful for you as well. Alrighty, I'll see you guys next time. Bye for now.